So this is how it begins. Not with a press release, not with a camera flash, but with a door quietly closing behind three figures no one expected to be in the same room. In the heart of Indiana, deep inside the Pacers facility, something happened. Something that insiders are already calling the most important moment in the history of women's basketball. There were no journalists, no live streams, not even a leaked itinerary. Just whispers, low, shaky, dangerous whispers about Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Larry Bird all meeting behind closed doors. And those whispers, they're growing louder by the hour. You don't just get a WNBA rookie, a veteran agitator, and an NBA legend together unless the stakes are sky high. This isn't just basketball. This is legacy, power, and a plan that could rewrite the very DNA of the sport. And the craziest part, most people still have no idea what's coming. Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive in the WNBA, she detonated. She turned arenas into temples, sold out games that had never seen standing room-only crowds, and made national networks scramble to bump primetime shows just to catch her play. Over 1 million people tuned in for her debut. Millions more followed. Sponsors lined up. Gatorade, Nike, Beats, all chasing a rookie like she was already a legend. Because in a way she is. But this moment, this secret meeting, proves her impact goes way beyond stats or highlight reels. She's not just a player anymore, she's a movement, a symbol of what's possible when skill meets star power. And that power demands more than applause, it demands transformation. Clark made little girls dream bigger and veteran players stand taller. She didn't ask for change, she walked in and made it inevitable. But even meteors don't blaze alone. Enter Sophie Cunningham. If Clark is the spark, Sophie is the flamethrower. A 6-year WNBA veteran with the Phoenix Mercury, Sophie doesn't show up for decoration. She's not here to smile for the cameras or repeat PR-approved lines. She's been grinding in a league that too often ignored its own stars, and she's been speaking out long before it was convenient. About pay, about respect, about the gaps no one wants to talk about. When Sophie steps into a room like this, it means the conversation is shifting from publicity to policy. And this time, she's not just commenting on the system, she's helping to tear it down and rebuild it. Her voice is raw, real, and fiercely respected. She's the connective tissue between veterans who've waited for change and the new generation demanding it. If this secret initiative includes her, it's not just shiny headlines, it's a firestorm in the making. And then just when it couldn't get any more surreal, Larry Bird walks in. Larry Bird, the man who built empires, silenced arenas, and redefined greatness. A legend who's kept quiet for years, turning down interviews, stepping away from the spotlight, content to fade into myth, until now. Because now, apparently, the game needs him again. This isn't a cameo, this is a calling. Larry Bird didn't walk into that room for nostalgia. He walked in with blueprints. Bird has built championship teams as a player, coach, and executive. He understands the machinery of basketball, from talent to politics to legacy. And if he's re-emerging now, it means something seismic is coming, something designed to last. Word is, he's not just mentoring Clark, he's molding her into the face of a new era. Not just on the court, but in the boardroom. A true successor. The kind of transition you don't usually see in sports because the old guard rarely lets go. But Bird, he's not here to cling to the past. He's here to pass the torch. The fact that this happened in Indiana is no accident. This state isn't just obsessed with basketball, it worships it. Caitlin is lighting up the fever. Sophie's roots run deep in Midwest tournaments. And Larry Bird, he is Indiana basketball. This is the cradle of the revolution. The place where a new blueprint is being drafted. Not just for one team or one league, but for the entire sport. That blueprint, it's not theory anymore. Leaks are starting to surface. Insiders say this isn't just a feel-good mentorship program. It's bigger, way bigger. Whispers of cross-league collaboration, shared training academies, unified media platforms co-managed by male and female basketball icons. Imagine NBA and WNBA players training side by side. Mentorship programs that aren't just marketing but real, structured pathways. Resources equal across the board. Youth leagues that see boys and girls given the same spotlight, the same gear, the same investment. Bird, with his deep roots in NBA executive circles, is reportedly lobbying for full league integration initiatives. Meanwhile, Cunningham is pushing for policy reform. Real policy, not just slogans. From union protections to retirement planning, from mental health programs to post-career opportunities, this isn't branding, it's infrastructure. The system is being rebuilt while most fans are still waking up. And Caitlin, she's not just benefiting from this, she's driving it. She's reportedly using her platform to get access to rooms rookies are never allowed to enter. She's speaking to decision makers, not just reporters. She's not just playing the game, she's rewriting it. And the fans, they're not just watching, they're mobilizing. Social media is on fire, hashtags trending, petitions circulating, fan clubs demanding updates. News outlets are scrambling to send reporters to Indiana. Something is happening, and everyone knows it. There's even serious talk about a live national broadcast, a public unveiling of the movement, a moment where Clark, Cunningham, and Bird lay it all out. The mission, the timeline, the people they want to bring in. And those names, they might just make your jaw drop. Imagine a round table of legends. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, maybe even LeBron James. Imagine a call to action that transcends league boundaries, one that invites not just collaboration, but complete integration. This wouldn't just change headlines, it would change history. And that's why executives are nervous, because when stars unite outside the traditional system, the system gets scared. Power starts shifting, control slips, and for once the momentum isn't in a boardroom, it's in the hands of players who've lived the imbalance and are now building a better alternative. This isn't about the next WNBA championship, it's about the future of basketball itself, a future where gender doesn't dictate opportunity, where star power becomes system power, where the loudest cheers come not from buzzer beaters but from bold ideas. And that future? It's being born right now in Indiana. From youth gyms to global arenas, from ignored veterans to rising phenoms, this movement is starting to echo. And it's not echoing with outrage, it's echoing with hope. It feels like a comeback story, not for one player, but for the entire sport. So what happens next? Maybe it's a televised event, maybe it's a global foundation, maybe it's a brand new league model. Whatever it is, the basketball world isn't going back to business as usual. Not with Clark challenging the rules, Cunningham challenging the politics, and Bird building the path forward. The trio is active. And every rumor, every leak, every headline confirms that the revolution isn't theoretical anymore. So if you're watching this, ask yourself, are you ready? Because the game is changing, and history, it's already in motion. Smash that like button if you're fired up about the future of basketball. Drop your predictions in the comments. What do you think Clark, Bird, and Cunningham are building? And don't forget to subscribe, because this story is only just beginning. Stay locked in. This is WNBA News, and the revolution has arrived. So this is how it begins. Not with a press conference, not with a headline, but with a whisper behind a closed door. No cameras, no leaks, just silence and three shadows. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Larry Bird. Inside the Indiana Pacers facility, hidden from the world, they met in total secrecy. And that moment, it didn't just raise eyebrows, it sent shockwaves through the sport. Because this wasn't just a meeting, it was a warning, a declaration, and possibly the beginning of a basketball revolution. What could possibly unite the most explosive rookie in WNBA history, a fearless league veteran, and one of the greatest legends the NBA has ever known? The answer isn't simple, because this isn't just about basketball. It's about power, legacy, reform, and a future none of us were prepared for. Caitlin Clark didn't enter the WNBA quietly. She crashed through the front door and broke the league wide open. Record-breaking crowds, insane TV ratings, merchandise flying off shelves. She didn't just bring attention, she shifted the culture. When Clark plays, arenas erupt. When she speaks, brands listen. From Nike to Gatorade to Beats, the biggest companies in the world didn't just endorse her, they rallied around her. She wasn't just selling sneakers, she was selling a movement. But behind the highlight reels and three-point bombs, there was something deeper. Clark didn't just bring new fans, she reignited belief. Players started walking taller, executives started panicking, networks began rearranging their schedules. Because suddenly the WNBA wasn't just newsworthy, it was essential. And now Caitlin isn't just showing up to play, she's showing up to lead. But no revolution is built alone. That's where Sophie Cunningham comes in. If Caitlin is the spark, Sophie is the gasoline. She's been in the trenches, a 6-year WNBA vet who plays like every possession is life or death. But it's not just her game, it's her voice. She's been calling out the system for years, from unfair contracts to overlooked mental health to locker room conditions no male player would ever accept. Sophie has been saying what others were too scared to say. She's the enforcer, the bridge, the truth teller. So when Sophie shows up in a secret meeting like this, it's not PR, it's policy. She's not here to decorate a movement, she's here to shape it. She brings legitimacy and the kind of respect that isn't bought, it's earned. And then there's Larry Bird, the ghost of French Lick, 3-time NBA champion, 3-time MVP, Hall of Famer, trash talk king, Indiana royalty, and for years, silent, until now. Larry Bird doesn't do publicity stunts. He doesn't chase clout. If he's stepping out of retirement, stepping back into the basketball world, it's for one reason. Something serious is happening. And make no mistake, Bird doesn't just bring legend status. He brings blueprints. As a coach, executive, and mentor, Bird has built contenders, drafted icons, reshaped franchises. His fingerprints are all over Indiana basketball. And now, he's back at the table, quietly, strategically, building something new. Insiders say this wasn't just a conversation, it was the beginning of an overhaul. And Indiana, that's not coincidence, that's symbolism. Clark is igniting the fever, Cunningham has Midwestern roots, and Bird is Indiana. This meeting is a coronation, a declaration that Indiana is ground zero for what's next. But what is next? Rumors are exploding. Cross-league collaborations, NBA, WNBA shared training academies, unified media platforms, full-scale mentorship programs where NBA vets and WNBA stars co-lead youth pipelines. Imagine LeBron James mentoring with Clark. Imagine a co-branded system that trains boys and girls together, equally funded, equally respected, equally visible. And this isn't fantasy. Insiders say infrastructure is already shifting, resources being reallocated, policy discussions quietly underway, contracts being restructured behind the scenes. Bird is lobbying for NBA buy-in. Cunningham is pushing hard on mental health funding, union protections, and retirement planning. Caitlin is leveraging her fame not for endorsements, but for access. She's in rooms no rookie has ever entered. She's using her voice to challenge, not compliment the system. And the fans, they're not just watching, they're demanding answers. Hashtags are trending, petitions are spreading, local reporters in Indiana are investigating, national media outlets are flying in producers, because everyone knows something big is happening, and no one wants to be left behind. And here's the bombshell. There's talk of a televised reveal, a formal public announcement, a moment where Bird, Clark, and Cunningham step out of the shadows and show the world what they've been building. A blueprint, a mission, and possibly a new chapter for the entire sport. Imagine this trio joined by legends like Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, or even LeBron James. Imagine a round table of titans pledging to unify the game, to blur the line between men's and women's basketball forever. This wouldn't just be a story, this would be history. And that's why people in power are sweating, because this movement, it threatens their grip. It dares to balance the scales. It exposes what's broken and offers a plan to fix it. And that makes it dangerous, but also unstoppable, because what's being built here isn't a moment, it's a movement. A movement where the loudest noise isn't the crowd, it's the idea of equality, where young girls in Indiana look up and see a future, not just in college hoops, but in a professional league that's finally treated like one, where boys grow up idolizing WNBA stars the same way they do NBA legends. And it all started behind a door in Indiana. No cameras, no tweets, just 3 people who decided that the old rules didn't apply anymore. Caitlin Clark is rewriting them. Sophie Cunningham is enforcing them. Larry Bird is building them. And together, they're not just changing basketball, they're creating something entirely new. So the only question left is, are you ready? Because what's coming next, it won't just make news, it will make history. Smash that like button if you're ready for a new era of basketball. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think Clark, Bird, and Cunningham are planning? And if you want the inside scoop before anyone else, hit that subscribe button right now. Because this story isn't over, it's just getting started. This is WNBA News, and the revolution has officially arrived.